Cyclamen hederifolium is a tuberous perennial from the Mediterranean. It's also known as Cyclamen neapolitanum, which tells you a little bit about it. It's adapted to dry summer conditions and in fact requires that, and so it's ideally suited for areas like our Pacific Northwest where we receive minimal summer rainfall. Cyclamen hederifolium is completely dormant during the summer months and emerges once the rains have begun in the fall. The flowers are very sweet, I think. They remind me of our U.S. native dodecatheon with the winged effect. And they come in shades of pink as well as a white form that's known as Cyclamen hederifolium album or forma alba album. And but for me the main event on this plant is the foliage, and I just love looking at all the different variations that you see. And as you can see from these photos of my container collection, they vary greatly in terms of shape, leaf shape, as well as coloration. That inner area is called the shield, and it can come in light, it can be light silver or pewter as it's called, with darker green rings around it, or you can find individuals that have dark centers and light markings on the outside. Then there are some where some of the leaves are larger, some are smaller, and some lack the distinctive markings, but I find them all very charming, and very charming as a group. This plant will naturalize in the woodland garden over time, and the way it does this is by reseeding. And I wanted to show you an interesting feature that it has is the way that once the flowering petals have dropped off, the seed capsule is at the top of this stem, and it begins to curl down, and it will actually curl and curl and curl and coil down to the base of the plant, where it lies throughout the for a year or more as the seed capsule develops. And so in the fall, if you look closely at your established plants, you may see young seedlings that have emerged, and they will begin flowering in a year or two. They can be carefully lifted out and planted up in containers, as you can see from my container collection, or dotted around your woodland garden. But over time they will naturally, the seeds will be carried off, and they will naturally spread throughout your area. They do require, as I said, a dry summer rest. They also like well-drained soils. They don't want to be in sodden clays. And in our area, where we often do have clay soils, they do very well at the base of trees and shrubs, where they compete for moisture with the larger plants, and the zone is typically quite dry, even during the rainy months. Cyclamen hederifolium is a great plant for the dry shade garden, and the dry shade garden is a garden that we are always looking for interesting plants to grow in, and this is an excellent choice.